back to one more video session. Here we will be dealing with the phylum Porifera. In our regular class, we already had discussed about the some salient and general or important features of the phylum Porifera. Porifera means pore-bearing animals, correct? They are mainly made up of different types of cells. It is nothing but having cellular level of organization. Got it? Not tissue level of organization. If you remember, it has got water canal system that helps in their respiration and also like food intake and even excretion. Yes, they are hermaphrodites, but still in asexual reproduction they go for fragmentation or spore formulation. That is nothing but gemmules. Okay, what type of asexual reproduction is seen in sponges? Gemmule formation. If you want to write down gemmules, so we write here. Simply we write here gemmules. Actually a type of asexual spores which is produced from the sponges. Wherever they lodge, they will develop into young sponge. Fine. See, the water canal system, if you recall, it has got three important pores. Yes, the first thing is the ingressing water. What is the meaning of ingressing water? Ingressing means incoming water. Enters into the holes, the pores present on the body wall of the sponges called as ostia. Millions of ostia will be there. Hence the name Porifera. And then the water enters into a big cavity that is called as spongocoel. Okay, mainly the spongocoel is lined with a specialized cells called as collar cells or also called as choanocytes. What is the function? Digestion is the main function of collar cells or choanocytes. Okay, after that, from the spongocoel, the water escapes through osculum. Osculum is the only single opening actually situated at the top of the sponge. Simple, that is water canal system. But this is NEET class, we are going to study in advanced level. Okay, there are three major different types of water canal system. We'll talk about it later. Now, who actually gave the name to the phylum or sponges as Porifera? Because it has got so many numerous pores, right, on its body. Just note this, a name of the scientist Robert Grant, for NEET important. Robert Grant actually gave the name to the Porifera. That is nothing but to the sponges as Porifera. He called it as Porifera. Okay, fine. The next is, what you call for the study of sponges. If you are a scientist and you are studying about the sponges, it comes under zoology. Okay, in zoology there are so many different branches. Particularly one branch that deals with only Porifera, that is study of Porifera, is called as parazoology. What do you call? Parazoology. Note this one. Parazoology is the study of sponges. Okay. Next is, we will talk about its symmetry. Normally we know that all the sponges, they are asymmetrical. They don't have a proper symmetry. Correct? They will not exhibit bilateral symmetry or radial symmetry. It is asymmetrical. But there is one exception that is not dealt in the regular class. We write here, there is a sponge called as Leucosolenia. Okay. A sponge called as Leucosolenia. It is the only Porifera that exhibit radial symmetry. See. So it is important for your NEET. Could be asked. Because this is the only exception. Because we know that all Poriferans are asymmetrical. But there is one exception, that is Leucosolenia. Note this point. Leucosolenia, which is bit circular in shape, so they exhibit radial symmetry. Okay, now we have to discuss about the different types of cells present in the sponges. So this is important. For that we just draw a basic diagram of a sponge. This is actually a common body plane of the sponges if you take any type of sponge. Okay, so we just draw like this, and we all know that majority of the sponges are sessile, sedimentary, that is attached to the substratum, that is in the benthic region of the sea, that is the bottom layer of the sea. We know that. Okay, so this is the one side of the sponge and this is the other side of the sponge. Yes. Okay. Now what I do is I just erase some portions of its body wall. So this is now the body wall. Okay. Here also I erase it. Now can you tell me what is this now? This is nothing but the pores, ostia. Correct. How many are there? Millions are there. Here only 5 to 10 actually, but millions of ostia could be seen on the body of the sponge. So first we write the body wall, that is actually this entire thing, because we know that the canal is nothing but, you know, the canal in the sense like a cavity which is situated in exactly at the center of the sponges is called as spongiocele. So we are not talking about spongiocele, we are talking about its body wall, okay, the outer layer. Body wall mainly consists of three different types of layers. So three layers, we write it, okay, three layers. The layer number one is actually called as pinacoderm. Okay, this is actually called as the pinacoderm. So we write here, see the names, bit weird and different, strange. Pinacoderm, biological name. Pinaco means external, outside. Okay, so this is the pinacoderm. It has got one more name, that is actually called as dermal ostia. So can you note this point? What is the meaning of derm? Derm is nothing but skin. Okay, ectoderm, skin. Okay, outside, layer. Derm is nothing but layer. In human being, dermal means skin. Very simple. Pinacoderm is nothing but dermal ostia. Why it is dermal ostia? Because you know it has got so many pores. So we just write the ostia here, which is actually protruding towards the spongiocele. Correct. So we know that this is nothing but the spongiocele. Correct. So we just put like this, nothing but spongiocele. So this is spongiocele. Okay, spongiocele, and this is nothing but the ostia. Ostia present in the pinacoderm. Okay. Again, in the pinacoderm, you see two different types of cells. Okay. If this is pinacoderm, as I said, this is pinacoderm. The pinacoderm is mainly made up of cells, obviously. Derm is nothing but made up of cells. Okay. All are living cells. Some cells will be flattened like this. See, flat cells will be there. But in between that, you see exactly in the pinacoderm, you see some cells which are a bit oval in shape. See, like this, oval in shape. Okay, so oval. But at the same time, you see some flattened cells also. So at regular interval, you see oval, flattened, like this. It goes like this. Okay. So let me write the name. The first one is here. What you see here is the flattened pinacoderm. Okay, so we write it. The flattened pinacoderm is this. This is the flattened pinacoderm. So flattened pinacoderm. That also a type of cell which belongs to pinacoderm. Got it? Which is flattened. Now you see this one, which is actually no oval in shape, but the tips of it, that is actually the tip where it is projecting towards this spongiocele region, which has got a pore. So we write oval porocyte. See the names. What is the meaning of cyte? Cyte is nothing but cells. Pore means holes. So hole bearing cells, nothing but porocyte, which is oval in shape. See, flattened pinacoderm, oval porocyte, which makes up the pinacoderm. So that means it is understood that here also you see flattened pinacoderm and oval porocytes, which goes like this. Okay. Exactly between this pinacoderm as well as, or that is flattened pinacoderm and oval porocyte, you see a type of cell which is nothing, not cell actually, a cavity. Small canal-like structure, that is nothing but ostia. Okay, you see millions of ostia. So everything comes under pinacoderm. This is one thing. Now, so I'm going to leave some space here because it is the middle layer. I'm not going to talk about middle layer now. So we go to the spongiocele. So this is now spongiocele. Okay, so now let me highlight this now. This is spongiocele. The spongiocele always opens through osculum. So this is osculum. Okay. And here, exactly here, what you see is, you see a small round shaped cells like this. Cells will be like this, which is now attached to the spongiocele. See, like this. Can you understand this? Easy, right? Okay. Now, this particular cell now opens like a funnel. See, it looks like a funnel which opens into spongiocele. See, like this. You can draw if you want. So if I draw the diagram, just pull out one cell which is now making the lining of spongiocele and draw the diagram here, it looks like this. Like this. See? like this, and it has got a small flagella. The flagella is towards the spongiocyte, that's it, which is coming out of the main cell. Got it? What do you call? You remember choanocyte? Yes, or it is also called as collar cells. So it is collar cell. What is the meaning of collar cell? Collar cell is nothing but it is the lining of spongiocele. Correct? Makes the lining, right? Okay. Or it is also called as choanocytes. See, different names. Don't get confused. Choanocytes and collar cells both are same. Done. Done. Now let me just go with the second layer. That's what I said. Like I'm not going to discuss now. So we go to the third layer. Sorry. Third layer is which makes up the lining of the spongiocele, which is nothing but called as choanoderm. See, choanoderm, which makes the lining of the spongiocele. Now, choanoderm is nothing but it is the layer which makes up the spongiocele lining, consists of a type of cell which looks like a collar. So it is collar cell or choanocyte. So shall I write CC or choanocytes? See, very simple. So choanocytes or collar cells will seen only in choanoderm layer. Got it? So we are done with it. Now what is there between this layer and this layer? That is nothing but pinacoderm and choanoderm. There is a layer which is empty. See, this is actually a cavity like structure. Okay, so that is our second or middle layer called as mesohyl. See, mesohyl layer. Done? Okay. Now what is there in the mesohyl layer? That's what we have to learn now. So in the mesohyl layer you see so many different types of cells. Okay, so I will erase this and we will explain because they are very, very important. It contains so many different types of cells. Okay, for example, sclerocytes, thesiocytes, trophocytes, archaeocytes. I think if I can write here. Okay, the first type of mesohyl cell is amoebocytes. Hope it is visible to you. Okay, amoebocytes, which is normally seen in the mesohyl layer, that is the middle layer, amoebocytes. Why the name is given amoebocytes? Amoebocytes is there are so many different types of cells which is present in the mesohyl layer, which looks like amoeba. Shape is amoeba. Okay, like this. It is not having a regular proper shape, so it is irregular in shape. So amoeba. In that you see different types of cells. The classification of amoebocytes is done based on the function. Okay, done by that specific cell. So we can classify them into many types. I will just discuss only important types. There are so many different types of cells. There are about 13 amoebocytes are there, but we will go with only 6. That is enough actually for me. So first one is I write archaeocytes. It is also called as totipotent cell. Please remember, I tell you, totipotent cell is a general English name. Okay, so that is referred to some cells which has got the ability to multiply. Okay, totipotent. So from a single cell I can make a entire living organism. Totipotent. You will understand it later. Okay, that means if, let me just write the second type of cell is called as trophocytes. Okay, third type of amoebocyte is called as thesiocyte or thesiocytes. Fourth type is sclerocytes, like this. Okay, then fifth type is germ cells, or even sixth type is chromocytes. Then seventh type is colonocytes. See, can you remember all these things? Okay. Now amoebocytes is nothing but a type of cells which is present in the mesohyl layer or middle layer, that is between dermal ostia and this particular choanoderm. Okay. So here you see different types of cells. The classification of the amoebocytes is done based on the function, because each cell they have different function that helps in the survival of the sponge. It is nothing but adaptation of the sponges in that particular marine conditions, water conditions. Okay, what is the meaning of archaeocytes? The archaeocytes mainly they actually have the ability to form all the cells. So you may get a question. Name the type of cell in sponges which has got the ability of totipotent. So that is nothing but archaeocytes. What is the meaning of totipotent? It has got the ability to form tropocytes. If the tropocytes are lost, if the sponge is damaged, there is a chance of losing these tropocytes. So if it is lost, these archaeocytes, that is a type of amoebocyte, will form tropocyte. Or tesocytes also, it will be formed by this particular archaeocytes. Sclerocyte, any type of cells. Got it? So remember, archaeocytes, it is also called as totipotent cell. Okay, done. What is the meaning of tropocyte? See, it is nothing but it helps in the digestion of food. Can you note this? Name the cell which is a digestive cell in sponges, tropocytes. Tropocytes actually take the food, that is tiny microorganisms, and crush it. And then the metabolism takes place inside tropocyte. Okay, so that is nothing but synthesis of energy rich molecules, energy currency of the cell, ATP. Okay, then tesocytes. See, tesocytes normally they help in the store of food granules, for future. Okay, see, in our case we have glycogen that will be stored, food, reserve food material. Whenever we need energy, so the glycogen will be broken, that is, it will enter into glycolysis pathway and produces ATP. It is nothing but stored food. Okay, in the case of plant, which is the stored food? Starch. Okay, but in the case of these sponges, tesocytes will help to store the food granules for future. So from this, tropocytes actually absorb that food granules and digest them. This is it. Okay, then what about this sclerocyte? See, main function, main character of these sponges is the production of type of defense structure called as spicules. So sclerocytes help in the production of spicules. So please note this one, spicules, kind of thorn-like structures which will be coming out of these sponges like this. Spicules. Who produces spicules in sponges? Sclerocytes, a type of amoebocytes. Okay, I forgot here the colonocytes help in the production of spongin fibers. Okay, spongin fibers by colonocytes, spicules by sclerocytes. Easy? I know that it is not easy. Okay, you have to learn it. What is the function of germ cells? As I said, in sponges you see asexual reproduction as well as sexual reproduction. If I talk about sexual reproduction, the sponges normally undergo fertilization. Got it? Okay, the fertilization takes place when the sperm and ovum meet. Fusion takes place. So, germ cells will produce sperms or ovum. That's it. Okay. Chromocytes, see, sponges got different color. You see, different types of sponges, right? Each got its unique color. The color is because of they have a specialized amoebocytes called as chromocytes. The meaning of chromo means color, so they release color. So because of that, the sponges normally looks colorful. That's it. Okay. So that's all about the different types of amoebocytes. Note it, very important. Done. Now I'm going to discuss about the very important character of sponges, water canal system. In that there are three types. Okay. Water canal system, very important. There are three types of water canal system. Okay. So we know the simplest water canal system normally consists of ostia, spongiosil, osculum. Correct? That is simplest. But there is complex type of water canal system that actually varies from sponges to sponges. Let us see that. The first type of water canal system is, we just write this code AS SYLE. Acyle. Just note this point, acyle. And again here I just write like this. LE, that is example. This is asconoid type of water canal system. This is syconoid type of water canal system. This is leuconoid type of water canal system. There are three types. Examples, because very important. In NEET you get this question. Leucosolanea exhibit which type of water canal system? Asconoid, that's what. LE. Very simple, you remember this opposite. Okay, so this is LE which comes under LAS. Then SY again, we are coming in this fashion, so there is no changes because sycon exhibit syconoid type of water canal system. Very important, this question was asked in the previous NEET examination. Okay, then this one, AS, I just go with only S. So S in the sense spongilla. Spongilla exhibit leuconoid type of water canal system. Okay, we just write that. The first one is asconoid. asconoid type of water canal system. Shall I write like this? Water canal system. You need to write full asconoid water canal system. Number one. The second one is cyclonoid. So we just write cyclonoid is another type of water canal system. Okay. Third one, very important, all this water canal system. Third one is leuconoid. Leuconoid type of water canal system. Name the sponge which exhibit radial symmetry. Leucosolenia. That's just recall it. Okay, asconoid. Now I'm going to draw the basic diagram of these sponges. Okay, so this is now sponges. No need to explain the parts again. So we know this is actually the spongosil, osculum, spongosil, ostium. Obviously the ingressing water. See, that is incoming water, ingressing water which now enters into ostia, then into spongosil, then actually goes up to osculum. Yes, right. So this is simplest water canal system. So that is nothing but asconoid water canal system. Simple. So we write here ostia, then spongosil, then osculum. Got it? If any sponge follow this type of water canal system for their excretion, respiration, intake of food, then it is called as asconoid type of water canal system. Give example for asconoid type of water canal system. Example is this. That is nothing but leucosolenia. Leucosolenia actually exhibit asconoid water canal system. Simple. Okay. So easy, right? Example, I just want to continue this further because I may forget in the class itself. That is, what is the larval stage? What is the name of the larval stage of the leucosolenia? Because we have not studied about leucosolenia in our regular class. This is upgraded version. So remember that normally the development in the sponges is always indirect. That is, there is a clear-cut larval stage. So particularly this particular sponge, that is adult sponge called as leucosolenia, had parenchyma stage of larvae. Okay, in its end stage. Okay, so we write parenchyma. Can you remember it? Parenchyma is the larval stage name or larval name of this particular sponge called as leucosolenia. Can you write this? Fine, no doubt, right? Okay, so leucosolenia, parenchyma, larval stage. Very, very important. Okay, so asconoid type is done. Now we go to cyclonoid type of water canal system. Okay, so here is this. Now here we just write a code here for cyclonoid. Example of the porifera which exhibits cyclonoid water canal system is cycon. Cyclonoid, cycon, easy. Very important actually, but easy. Okay, so I write this code. Dip Russo is actually the code to remember. Very simple, just remember. Also, that is normal water canal system in asconoid type. This is dip Russo. Got it? Okay, how many letters we need to remember? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Total 7 letters. Okay, so what is this D? D is dermal ostia. I write here D for dermal ostia. I for incurrent canal. Incurrent canal. Okay. P for a type of cell called as prosopile. See the name, prosopile. This R for radial canal. Okay. Then A for another type of cell called as apopyle. It has got big pores actually. Okay, nothing but canal actually. Okay. Then S for spongosil. Spongosil. O for osculum. Okay, the movement of the water will be in this fashion. That's what I have written dip Russo. Because in the need, you cannot remember everything. At least if you remember this, it will be easy. Because you can easily pick from the choices. Correct? Easy, right? Okay. Dip Russo is the thing. So dermal ostia, incurrent canal, prosopile, radial canal, apopyle, spongosil, osculum. That is a type of water canal system called as cyclonoid, seen in only cycon, not in leucosolenia. Easy? Okay. So just draw the diagram if you want. It is not necessary. In higher classes, you want to study. See this. If the sponge shape is like this, very complex shape actually. Okay, the water cannot directly enter into spongosil from the ostia, so it has to pass through different canals actually. Okay, so we just draw the canal. See the canal. See. Okay, so it is nothing but the canal. The body organization is very complex in the case of sponges. Very complex. It's very difficult. If you cut the sponge, you see so many pores. It will be very difficult to find the canal system. Okay, so but scientists have already observed how exactly the water moves. See, dermal ostia is this. Okay, so this is the opening now, dermal ostia. I just write D, and then incurrent canal. The incurrent canal is this. Okay, the water enters into incurrent canal, that is I. After ostia, then comes the some type of cells here, exactly here. I think, can you see this? Okay, this is called as the prosophile or prosopile. And from this again it enters into another, that is another canal, that is called as radial canal. Okay, then again it enters into this, that is called as apopyle. See, apopyle is here. It's very difficult. Okay, then comes this. Finally it enters into this cavity, that is spongosil, and then finally the water escapes through osculum. This is it. Okay, so that is the the path of the water in this particular Sycon type of sponges. This thing. Now we go to the third type, that is leuconoid. Where is this? What is this leuconoid type? Leuconoid type is seen only in the case of spongilla. You remember spongilla? What is it? Freshwater sponge or bath sponge? Remember it. Okay, very important. Leuconoid water canal system. In that, what we do is we just draw the diagram. It is again, it has got a big osculum. So looks like a matka, like this. And here inside the body you see so many complex structures. So I am just simplifying it. It normally doesn't look like this. It is a simplified version. Okay, and in the type of this particular type of leuconoid water canal system, the spongosil is always narrow. It is not wider like Sycon type and Asconoid type. It is narrow. Spongosil is narrow, like a pipe. Note this one. Narrow, like this. See, this is spongosil. But water has to enter into different types of canal system actually. Different types of what you call pores. So let us see that. Again, I am retaining the same thing. We need to upgrade it now for the leuconoid because it is getting more and more complex. This is simple, this is complex, this is more complex type of water canal system. So I am retaining it D, I, P. See, I am retaining first three letters dip. R, I am going to remove this R and I will replace it with F. Okay, I will retain A. Okay, instead of S because it has got narrow spongosil. So we will not write about spongosil. We write E, that is nothing but excurrent canal. Then O for osculum. How many letters? Similar. E, 7 itself. Okay. D, dermal ostia, incurrent canal, prosopile. This is flagellated canal. That means the canal got flagella. I am not going to draw that. It's simple flagellated canal. A is apopyle, same. E is excurrent canal. Excurrent canal means the water is moving out into spongosil. Another canal is there. That is extra. Addition in the case of leuconoid type. Okay. Then osculum. Done. So easy. Very simple. They are not going to ask all this stuff actually. No need to remember all this stuff. It's only for your understanding. What you have to remember is asconoid also. Only that much is enough with one example. That is nothing but leucosolenia. And the larval stage of the leucosolenia is called as paracymula. Okay. Sycon, that is V water canal system, Sycon. Okay. So here you need to remember only this much. Dermal ostia, incurrent canal, okay, like that. Dip, Russo. And here leucosolenoid, spongosil is narrow. Example is spongilla. You have to remember dip, phio. Okay, that means I have replaced R with F and here S with E. That is excurrent canal, extra added. Okay, something is removed. That is R is removed. That is radial canal is removed. Spongosil is removed. Okay, easy. Hope you understood this. Very important. Please learn this. At least whenever you get time, write this again and just put it on the wall or maybe on the study table. Okay, write it in a sheet and put it somewhere else. Every day when you wake up, you have to see that, so that you can remember it. Because in the second FPC, you are going to study more and more chapters. That is genetics and all this stuff. So you may not remember all this stuff, I know it, and you may demand me to explain it again. So to avoid that, you can start from today itself. Got it? Very important. Okay. Now we will learn the last session of the phylum Porifera, that is classification of the Porifera. The Porifera can be classified into three different classes. We have to learn each and everything from this phylum Porifera to make sure that we can attempt any type of questions in the NEET examination. Any type of questions. The question could be easy type, or it could be like bit moderate, or it could be very difficult question. Any type of questions we have to answer it. That's what I am making sure that I explain each and every part of the phylum Porifera. Like that. Even for the next phylum also I will explain in detail. Okay. The duty is you have to remember everything. Got it? In the second year PUC you are going to study different types of concepts, that is genetics, or maybe the human reproduction, or maybe in the first year itself you are going to study plant physiology or human physiology. Got it? When we come across with all these chapters, you may forget this Porifera. At least one question will be from this animal kingdom, so don't miss one question. That is 4 marks. Very important. That decides your ranking. 600 plus is the target. 600 plus. I'm telling you, if you cannot score 600 plus in the NEET and you are general merit candidate, then I suggest you to quit. Got it? If you can take up this as a challenge, you have the confidence, you have the ability to practice every day, that is minimum 15 hours of study, then only you can score 600 plus, then only you can achieve your dream, that is medical seat, government medical seat. Otherwise, I suggest quit. Got it? Okay, it's not that easy. Without practice, without determination or dedication, it's not easy. It's not at all easy actually. Got it? Okay. To get medical seat. So classification. So we go with this three types of classification in sponges. The classification is mainly based on the type of spicules the sponges bear. What type of spicules they have? Spicules. You know what is spicule? The defense type of structures in sponges. Okay. So the classification is based on what is the shape of the spicules in that particular sponge. Okay. If they have 6 rays, for example, see, like this, if the shape of the spicule is like this, like a starfish, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we have to put one more. So how many rays are there? 6 rays are there. So the class is second class actually, that is Hexactinellida. Hexactinellida. Okay, Hexactinellida. So that's it. Or maybe like if the spicule is made up of calcium or calcium carbonate in a specific type of sponges, then the first type, that is actually Calcarea. See, easy, right? Calcarea or Hexactinellida, that is 6-rayed spicule. Or if the sponge looks like weird, very weird like this, looks like a devil, then it belongs to Demospongia. Demospongia. See the names. Very good example for Demospongia. Let me just write. Chalina. See, Chalina is a very good example because we have not studied in our regular class. So you have to add this. Other than that, Euspongia, or we write Spongilla. See, Spongilla. Okay, so we have already studied about Euspongilla and Spongilla. We know about it, but you need to remember which is freshwater sponge or bath sponge. You know about it. I will not explain. Chalina is also called as dead man finger. So there is a chance in NEET. Which type of sponge is called as dead man finger? Chalina, which belongs to Demospongia. Done? See, or maybe which class of Porifera? They are freshwater plus marine water animals. That is only Demospongia. That means Hexactinellida and Calcarea 100% they are marine sponges. Both are marine, but in this case it is both. Because we have out of two, any one is freshwater identified. Okay. Hexactinellida, it is mainly classified based on the total number of spicules it has got. So that is how many rays are there? 6 rays of spicules. So hence it is hexa. Hexa means 6. Hexactinellida. Example is Euplectella. Very important again. Euplectella is another example for Hexactinellida. Euplectella can also be called as Venus flower basket. Venus flower basket is the name of Euplectella. Euplectella belongs to Hexactinellida because it has got 6 rayed spicule. Got it? Very important. You get this question again. Venus flower basket is Euplectella. Can you remember it? You have to remember it. Okay. So done. One more example is glass rope sponge. We write it. Glass rope sponge. The scientific name is Hyalonema. Hyalonema, which also belongs to Hexactinellida. It is commonly called as glass rope sponge. Can you remember it? You have to again. Okay. Calcarea. If the spicules are mainly made up of calcium carbonate and they are marine animals, they all belongs to Calcarea. Examples include simple cyclone. Okay. And second one is your Leucosolenia. Done. Easy. Okay. So how many examples? Cyclone, Leucosolenia, Calcarea, Hexactinellida, Euplectella, that is Venus flower basket, and Hyalonema, glass rope sponge. Demospongia, it is nothing but fresh plus marine. 3 examples: Chelina, dead man finger, Euspongilla, Spongilla. Done? Easy? Okay. Just write this. The larval stage, as I already said, Parenchyma is the larval stage of Leucosolenia, and Amphiblastula, not blastula, Amphiblast is the larval name of Cyclone. Just add this, could be asked. Amphiblast, Parenchyma. Amphiblast, Cyclone, Parenchyma, Leucosolenia. Done. So we have completed everything from the phylum Porifera. Next, get ready for the second phylum, that is Coelenterata. Got it? Thank you very much.